Welcome back. It's a little fuzzy, but you'll still get my point of what I'm saying. Maybe if I turn the light off. Let me turn the light off. This is the story of a girl. Okay, I have some water. Did not work. It's a little fuzzy still. Oh well, you'll get the point of my video, and we'll just pretend it's vintage. So, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be talking about something that's very deep, and I feel like everyone needs to go through this, and the sooner the better. And it might be uncomfortable, but I need you to sit with these questions, or at least focus on this one for right now. If you met your closest friend today as the woman you are now, would you choose them? Would you still choose them? Because the question, it changed my perspective on everything. We talk about leveling up our careers. We talk about leveling and reinventing our styles. We talk about moving cities, changing routines, healing trauma, but we rarely talk about auditing our friendships. And yet, your social circle shapes your confidence, your ambition, self-perception, your standards, your nervous system. So today we're talking about, and we're going to do a friendship audit. And this is not going to be because you're bitter or you have an ego, but it's coming from a place of alignment. Because sometimes the most radical thing you can do for your growth is refresh your circle. So if this is something that you're interested in, I want you to stay tuned, and I will get started after this intro. Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to Joy Serendipity. If you're new here, definitely subscribe. You won't regret it. Hey, what's up, I'm back. Sorry, I'm a little tired, so please ignore like the bags under my eyes and how tired I look, or me squinting my eyes. My eyes burn from being sleepy. It's bad. But first, outfit of the day. I have on some baggy jeans and this gray top. I love this material. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So first, I think we need to talk about why we outgrow people. So we're gonna normalize something. Outgrowing friendships does not make you disloyal. It makes you more of it makes you a self-aware person. A lot of our friendships were formed through proximity, aka high school, college, work, a lot of the times trauma bonding. You still have friends from like party phases, or like shared confusion, but shared history is not the same as shared direction. And sometimes we stay connected out of nostalgia and not because they are really aligned with the person that you are today. We say, but we've been friends forever. But forever isn't a qualification. It should always be alignment. And I feel like the title for them can change. It doesn't always have to be friend. Be like, oh, associate, or I don't know. There's levels and tiers, but whatever. So I think I want to talk about superficial dynamics versus radical relationship alignment. I always start my mornings off with water so I can like rehydrate. Is it really snowing? That's fun. Okay, so let's talk about superficial dynamics. These are the friendships built on gossip and drinking, complaining, or like older versions of you, or convenience. And they oftentimes feel very familiar, but they don't feel like expansive. Radical relational alignment is very different. So it's asking, do we share the same values, morals? Do we respect each other's growth? Do we celebrate evolution? Hold on, is that someone? Yeah. Do we respect each other's revolution? Or evolution, not revolution, could be. Is there an emotional reciprocity? That's a big one. Or am I shrinking to stay relatable? Sorry, it's the way this person is driving. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Like, ask yourself, are you shrinking to stay relatable to this person? Because that's where there's quiet danger, and sometimes we downplay our ambition depending on who we're surrounded by or who's in our circle. We could be finding ourselves downplaying our healing or our boundaries to keep someone in our circle. So just know that, like, if you're just trying to maintain comfort in the group dynamic, it's not going to work out. And growth cannot coexist with constant self-editing. You need to be able to be your truest self in order to thrive. And if you feel like you're not being your true self in a friendship, first of all, why would you want that friendship? Second of all, yeah, it's not good. You're gonna have to get rid of that. So next is emotional reciprocity, and this is the real test of that. So, because I found like this is how I outgrew a lot of my friendships. This is a big one. Emotional reciprocity. When you're struggling, who shows up? Because they can be there during your party phase, or like, oh, things are going right in my life, and you know, I'm always happy, I'm always making everyone laugh, like everything is going great, so you want to be around me so you could be around that greatness. That's not always a signal or a sign that they're a true friend. When you're struggling, who is showing up? When you've lost your job, when you've gotten sick, anything like that, if they disappeared, those are not your true friends. Oh, I'm just giving you space to, to deal with what you're going through. You really think someone wants to deal with things alone? Like, did you even ask if they wanted to do that? Like, I feel like that's selfish. When you're winning, who is celebrating without like a subtle competition? So let's say you just achieved or got a promotion or achieved something. Are they around? Are they celebrating you without being like, okay, I'm gonna do this next? Like, there's people like that, and a lot of people don't pay attention until it's too late. Okay. Also, when you set a boundary, who respects it without guilt tripping you? A lot of people, first of all, you need to know how to set a boundary. I've talked about this on all my platforms, so learn how to set a boundary and why boundaries are boundaries. But if you set that boundary and someone tries to make you feel bad because you've changed, that's them guilt tripping you to going back into old habits, and that's not someone you want to be around. Friendship is not about constant availability, but it's about a balance and transparency. It's a balance and investment. If you find that you're always the one reaching out, you're always the one setting plans, that's not an even relationship, and you're going to start to resent them and burn out from the friendship. If you're always that therapist, if you're always the planner, if you're always the emotionally mature one, that's not your sisterhood. That's seriously an imbalance. Healthy friendships must be mutual and feel mutual, not transactional, not draining, and not performative. It needs to feel very much mutual, or you'll burn out and you'll get tired of being that person always reaching out. No one is that busy for someone they truly want in their life. I don't care what they say. We're in a digital age. I'm not saying you should have 100% access to people, but it takes 5 seconds to send a text. It takes 5 seconds. Because I know often we see a lot of people just scrolling through and interacting with random strangers on social media, but you can't text your friend back. It's been 2 weeks. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm sorry. I'm just knowing that I'm not that type of friend. I can't make excuses for people like that. So let's also talk about stagnant nostalgia. Some friendships survive solely off of old memories. I know I've had some friends where the only reason we stay friends because we've been through so much, or we did so much as children. I can't keep them around. I can't. There's inside jokes from 2018, stories from college. Remember that one trip? Oh, remember homecoming? Remember this and that? Yeah, I remember, but that's the only thing keeping our friendship alive. Maybe it's time I go, But what are we building from now? If every time you meet, and you only revisit the past, that connection may be rooted in who you were, not who you're becoming. And here's the scary part. Sometimes people resist your growth because it challenges their comfort. That goes from friends, family, co-workers. Yeah, when you start healing, evolving, and elevating, it forces everyone around you to confront their own stagnation, and not everyone's ready for that, and they will start taking that out on you. So ask yourself, are you keeping someone around out of simple nostalgia, remember wins, or are they like a genuine friendship and you sometimes are like, oh, that was fun, let's do it again, you know? Now let's talk about curating your social landscape. Like, we find ourselves curating our closets and our Instagram feeds to look like a certain aesthetic, or you do it with your morning routines. But we don't curate our social circles with the same intention. Why? You should approach friendships the way you approach your career. Like, there's clarity and standards, and you have like a vision of what you want. Do my friends inspire me? Do they respect my boundaries? Do they speak life into my ideas? Can I fully be myself around them? My new self that I'm coming into? Do I leave interactions energized, or do I feel depleted after hanging with them? Because your energy does not lie, your body does not lie. Pay attention to how your body feels after spending time with someone, because that's you collecting data, and what you do with your data is up to you. You should not be able to complain moving forward, because you have the data. You're just keeping those people around. But there is some sort of guilt of outgrowing, and the guilt is real, especially for women. We're socialized to maintain like harmony and like be loyal and not to switch up, but evolving isn't switching up, okay? It's you leveling up to the person that you're meant to be. You're allowed to change and refine your standards, and want conversations about investments instead of insecurities. Oops, did I say that? I think I did. You want conversations about investments instead of insecurities. And here's something that's very powerful. Refreshing your circle doesn't always mean like a dramatic cutoff. Okay? Sometimes it's like you adjusting access and creating distance and shifting your expectations or reclassifying roles, okay? Everyone doesn't get front row access to you, the woman you're becoming. Maybe they're gonna be in the balcony, okay? Maybe they're gonna be in the balcony. Maybe some people get VIP access and they get to go backstage and meet the actor, okay? Or maybe some people get to be a part of the cast. But you need to readjust the roles, reclassify what role they have in your life. My throat hurts so much. Now, this is what aligned friendships feel like, okay? Because we often hear people explain, this is what you shouldn't want in your relationship, this is what you should want, blah, blah, blah. They aren't giving, like, not conclusions, what's the word? Solutions. They aren't giving solutions. What an aligned friendship feels like is mutual encouragement, honest accountability, emotional safety, shared values, and you both are growing without competition. That friendship is going to feel calm. It's going to be secure. It's going to be supportive. It doesn't require you to perform. And when you find that, protect it, okay? Because women who uplift women are rare and sacred. So this is my reflection on what brought me to this topic, and hopefully like this is an aha moment to you. Here's the truth. You cannot build a next level life with a misalignment in your circle. Your environment influences your elevation, despite what people say. Who has access to you? Who influences you? Who drains you? Who sharpens you? This isn't about being superior. It's about being intentional with who's in your circle. You are allowed to curate your social landscape in the same way you curate your future. And sometimes growth requires editing, not out of malice, but out of alignment and where you want to go. So if this resonated with you, I want you to comment alignment over nostalgia. I want you to know, that you can curate your life and edit people's roles in it. Have you ever outgrown a friendship? Let me know that though. And how did you handle it? And if you're intentional, peaceful, or selective in this era in your life, let me know. But subscribe, because over here we protect our energy. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next girl chat.